You're listening to the Patenting for Inventors podcast, part of the Look Legal Pods from the law firm of Nolan Hyman, the #1 source for your intellectual property, business, and entertainment law needs. Now here's your host, registered patent attorney, Adam Diament.
Hello and welcome to the Patenting for Inventors podcast. My name is Adam Diament, a registered patent attorney and partner at the law firm of Nolan Hyman in Los Angeles, California. This is episode 148, Post-Grant Supplemental Examinations. A couple of news items first. One is that I have an Instagram page now where you can watch short 1-minute tips about intellectual property. Right now I only have about 10 reels up, but hopefully I'll start building that up along with the podcast. The Instagram handle is Trademark Patent Law, so it should be easy to find. Follow me and share and post some comments or whatever it is the kids these days do with the Instagramming. No idea. The other thing is, I wrote a book about interesting trademark cases having to do with religious disputes. You can find it on Amazon. It's called Divine Rights and Branding Fights, Holy Trademark Wars and Their Earthly Tales. I go over trademark law and use real-world examples of disputes between religions over words, logos, and phrases. There's a case about a fight over Namaste beer, one about unauthorized use of kosher symbols, disputes over using the word Mormon. There's one about a fight over whether a restaurant can be called the Halal Girls if there's already a restaurant called the Halal Guys. There's lots of interesting cases, and I use those to talk about more generally all the different aspects of trademark law. Okay, so today we're going to talk about something we usually don't associate with excitement: post-grant supplemental reexamination. But before your eyes glaze over, let me tell you, it's more than just legal jargon. It's a second chance, a safeguard, and sometimes the hero of the story when things don't go quite right. So what is this post-grant supplemental reexamination? Let me paint a picture. Imagine you've been granted a shiny new patent. It's your intellectual baby. Let's call it the Toast-O-Matic, a toaster that butters your bread, sprinkles cinnamon, and even sings show tunes. Life is good, right? But then one day, your conscience whispers, hold up, wasn't there already something like this? This is where the post-grant supplemental reexamination comes in. It's like hitting the replay button for the Patent and Trademark Office to take a second look at your patent. Maybe there's some prior art, meaning existing technology or publications that wasn't considered before. Maybe you accidentally forgot to disclose something during the original application process, and maybe that new information changes everything. Now first, why would anyone want to do this? There are several pros for going through with a reexamination. First is strengthening your patent. If you're confident your invention is still original and strong, reexamination can clear up any doubts. You get a more rock-solid patent, which means fewer lawsuits, less stress, and more singing toasters and happy kitchens everywhere. Here's another big one: avoiding fraud on the patent office. Sometimes it's possible that during your original patent application, you might have accidentally withheld some information, maybe a similar product or document. If this comes to light later, it can look really bad and could result in your patent being invalidated or even penalties. Proactively requesting a reexamination helps you correct any mistakes and keeps everything above board. It's a chance to make things right before someone else catches you. No harm, no foul, just a better, cleaner patent. Now let's talk about how the post-grant supplemental reexamination works, step by step. It's not exactly a roller coaster ride, but it does have its ups and downs. The process starts when you file a request for supplemental reexamination with the Patent Office. The request needs to provide specific reasons called substantial new questions of patentability. This is called an SNQ for short, about why the claims might not be valid. Usually this includes evidence like prior art that wasn't considered during the original examination. Now, you don't actually say your patent might not be valid. You put it in the way of there's a new question of patentability, and this information might be relevant to that. So you submit a detailed explanation about why the patent reexamination is needed. The office reviews the request and decides if it raises significant enough questions to merit a full reexamination. If yes, the process continues, and if no, the patent remains as is, and you can breathe a sigh of relief. The next step is determining the scope of reexamination. The Patent Office looks at the claims of your patent and the newly submitted prior art. The examiner's job is to determine if the claims still hold up in light of the new evidence. This is your chance to submit arguments explaining why your patent should still remain intact. You can also amend the claims to make them more specific or narrow to avoid conflicts with the prior art. The examiner carefully reviews the new evidence and also reviews your defense, and they determine whether the patent claims should stay as is, be changed, or be invalidated altogether. Now, after reviewing everything, the Patent Office makes a decision. The decision can have several outcomes. One is that your claims can be confirmed. Your patent stays exactly as it is. Congratulations, your Toast-O-Matic lives to butter and sing another day. Another potential outcome is that the Patent Office might require some changes. Maybe you have to give up the singing feature, but you get to keep the cinnamon sprinkling function. Not ideal, but better than losing everything. And the worst case scenario is that your claims are canceled, and no patent is enforceable anymore. The Toast-O-Matic is just a regular toaster, and suddenly the world seems a little less magical. If the decision doesn't go into your favor, don't worry, it's not the end of the road. You can appeal the patent examiner's decision through the Patent Trial and Appeal Board, called PTAB. And if you're still unsatisfied, you can take it to the federal courts. It's like asking for a second and third opinion. So the post-grant supplemental reexamination is like a reality check for your intellectual property. It can be a proactive move to strengthen your patent, avoid the dreaded fraud on the Patent Office, or fend off competitors trying to rain on your invention parade. Now, there is something that is a little similar to this called an ex parte reexamination, and that's if you want to try to invalidate someone else's patents. And the procedure is a little similar, but this supplemental reexamination is if you want the Patent Office to reexamine your own patent. If you want to know more about the other procedure of ex parte reexamination, or sometimes an inter partes review, you can go back and listen to episodes 77 and 78 of this podcast where I talked about those. Whether the examination goes well or not so well, one thing's for sure, it's better to have everything scrutinized and validated now than to be blindsided later. Thanks for listening to the Patenting for Inventors podcast. And until next time, I'm Adam Diament, and keep on inventing.
Thanks for listening to the Patenting for Inventors podcast. If you enjoyed the show, please kindly rate and review on your favorite podcast platform. The contents of this podcast are intended for general informational purposes only. The facts of every legal matter are unique, and the content of this podcast should not be construed as offering legal advice for your specific legal situation. For more information about how we can help with your own legal needs, check out our services at nolanhyman.com. That's NOLANHEIMANN.com. Or call Adam Diament directly at 424-281-0162. The preceding information may be considered an attorney advertisement and does not establish any attorney-client relationship.